Hello everybody, happy Friday. Today I'm gonna do a not so quick Friday reads video. Well, I will try to keep this video relatively short, but I really wanted to do a June reading plans video. I don't do TBRs, but I have a bunch of books that I want to read before the end of June for various different reasons, for read-alongs or so I can read books before other things come out and to keep up with my reading goals. And I'm just going to go through those pretty quickly, tell you what I'm currently reading and what I plan on reading this coming week and then in the rest of the month. The first book that I'm currently reading and that I will be pacing out throughout the entire month of June is Dune by Frank Herbert. I'm participating in Paul's Dune in June read-along, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the discussions that Paul has planned. This is a reread for me. I last read this back in 2007, so it's been 8 years, and I really enjoyed it the first time I read it. It was one of the first adult science fiction novels I ever read, and I loved it, and I love the miniseries. Well, I've seen the Dune sci-fi miniseries, but I actually love the second one, Children of Dune. So I'm really interested in rereading this book now and then reading Dune Messiah, which I think is the next book, which Children of Dune, the miniseries, is more based on. Yeah, Dune Messiah is followed by Children of Dune. So this is going to happen. I am not going to rip through this book. I'm going to follow the reading schedule that Paul has and talk about it with other people. I kind of feel like I have a theme going on here with big books I'm going to read over the course of the month because I'm also reading Dahlgren by Samuel R. Delany. This is only the second book by Delany I've read. And, okay, honestly, when I picked this book for my 2015 reading plans, I did not know it's 800 pages long and really hard to read. It's far out, man. There's no way I'm going to be rushing through this book. I am going to pace myself at about 30 pages per day. That's about as fast as I want to take it because this is a really hard to read book. It's weird and convoluted and kind of psychedelic. And as far as I know, it's not intended to make sense as a whole. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know, like, individual parts of it might make sense, but when you put it all together, I don't know. I fully expect to not understand this book, but I will read it anyway. I am also still reading, Bolt Catcher's Daughter by Rod Duncan. I haven't read any of this book in about 2 weeks. Bad Rachel, but I'm much more in the mood to read it now, so I will finish it probably this weekend or next week. Now on to the things that I will be starting relatively soon, probably this weekend, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I have 3 comics or graphic novels. I got the complete Persepolis from the library. I have seen the movie version of this and really enjoyed it. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it because I'd never been interested in any way about the Iranian Revolution. But I liked the movie and a bunch of people have said, "Hey Rachel, you should try reading the comic." Okay, I got it. I also have 2 other comics that I will definitely be reading very quickly. The first one is the second volume of Ms. Marvel by G. Willow Wilson. This is called Generation Y. I don't know what to expect from this. I really enjoyed the first volume, but I haven't heard that much about the second volume. The other one is Trillium by Jeff Lemire. I don't know anything about this. I really like Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire, and this is the only other comic by him that was available at the library right away. So I think it might just be a one-shot. Yeah, it doesn't say like volume 1 on it. So that'll be pretty easy to read. 2 books that I will be getting to very soon, but I haven't picked up from the library yet, are Without a Summer and Valor and Vanity, I think that's what it's called, by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is part of her Glamorous Histories series, and I just read the second book, Glamour and Glass. I buddy read that with Annie, and I really enjoyed it. That book totally revitalized my interest in the series. I really wasn't impressed by the first book, but Glamour and Glass was good fun, and I really want to know more about the characters and the story and the world and the magic system that Koala has created, so I'm just getting the next 2 books from the library and I'll read them very quickly. They're books that you can read in a day. I also have 2 other books out from the library, which I'm not sure I will get to this coming week, maybe the week after at the rate that I am piling up books to read. But the first one is Victory of Eagles by Naomi Novik. This is the 5th book in her Temeraire series, which starts with Well, in the US, the first book is called His Majesty's Dragon, but I think in other countries it's called Temeraire. I love the beginning of this series. It's about dragon riders during the Napoleonic Wars, and it's very interesting because it's a fantasy series where I think that the dragons themselves are truly characters. They can speak, they have personalities, they have like political agendas, social agendas, and I really enjoy that about the series, but there's something about where the plot has been going in the fourth book definitely that I started to lose interest. So if I don't enjoy this fifth book very much, I will either take a break from the series or just not care about finishing it at all. I hope I don't feel that way, but there have definitely been more series, other books, other authors that I would prefer reading at the moment. Also, I can always go off and read Novik's new book, Uprooted, which has been getting really great reviews. The other book that I have out is The People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara. That's a really hard name to say. I've only ever heard one person on BookTube talking about this, Nicole from Nicole's Adventures in SFF, and the way she described the plot just had me going, I need to get that from the library, and I will finally get around to reading it soon. And now on to the more nebulous reading plans for farther into the month, just some things to squeeze in around the big books that I'm going to be reading. Obviously, I will be reading the last two books in the Amber Chronicles by Roger Zelazny. These are Knight of Shadows and Prince of Chaos, and then I will be done with my reread. I'm finally going to get back into reading and finishing the Brother Cadfael series by Ellis Peters, not Elizabeth Peters. Elizabeth Peters wrote the Amelia Peabody series. Ellis Peters, real name Edith Pargeter, wrote the Brother Cadfael series. I always get them mixed up. So I'm going to read the 19th book in June. It's called The Holy Thief. I may try to read the entire omnibus and finish it up in June, but I'm not going to commit to that. I'm only committing to the first book. Same story with the Vlad Talto series by Stephen Bruce. I realized that I haven't read any of Bruce books in the series since I started my BookTube channel, so I haven't really talked about this very much. This is a fantasy series started in the 80s. It's super D&D inspired. I'm at a loss to explain why this appeals to me so much, but I like it. It's just fun fantasy to read, and the books I think do get better. The first three that I've read, Bruce was definitely a new author, but I happen to really like the main character, Vlad, who is an assassin. The world building is pretty cool. And I'm going to read the fourth book. This is a bind-up of the fourth and fifth books, so this actually contains Taltos and Phoenix, and I'm only going to read Taltos unless I get in the groove and want to read both of them. The final thing that I definitely want to read in June, which I should probably start now rather than later, is The Republic of Plato. This is my edition, translated by Alan Bloom. I mentioned when I hauled this book that I wanted to read it before June 30th when Jo Walton's next book in her Thessaly series comes out. It's The Philosopher Kings, and that's because that series is heavily based on, a thought experiment of bringing the Republic to life, and I don't know the actual content of the Republic, so I don't think I need to read this to enjoy her series, but I think it would enhance my enjoyment. Also, it's educational, and I'm all for reading things for personal educational enrichment. So that is it for this. Okay, this is not a Friday Reads video, is it? This is totally June reading plans. It's not a TBR. Don't call it a TBR. That would just make me nervous. I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend. Maybe you have Friday evening plans, and I will talk to you guys again on Sunday in my weekly wrap-up, and until then, bye.